Hey guys, so welcome to another bonus lesson, 5 tips on development and design from me, your mad educator, Oshin, in our diploma in mobile app development. So let's get started and get going. What is the function of your app? Functionality. Keeping on top of what the function of your app is extremely important to have a smooth design and development process. So first of all, you want to break down the function of your app into your primary functionality, which is what is necessary for your app to work and be released, and then secondary functionality, which is the non-essential functions of your app for it to be released and for it to work properly. But how do you choose the functionality of your app and break it down into primary and secondary functionality? Well, we do this through requirements analysis, and we'll be talking a lot more about this in lesson 4. But first of all, talk to people. Talk to as many people as you can about your app idea. See what they want to see from your app, because you're not developing the app for yourself. You are developing it for users, for people out in the world. And the more people you talk to, the more people you see what they want from your app and the functions they want from your app, the easier the development process is. And once you've gotten all that from the users and people you've talked to, break that down into your primary and secondary requirements, and these are going to be your primary and secondary pieces of functionality that you are going to work on and design on over the design and development process. And then again, guys, context. We talked about this in the last lesson, but keep context in mind when designing. What context will the user be using the app? Will they be inside or outside, on the move, sitting down? Will they be using a phone, a tablet? Will they be looking at it in landscape or portrait view? Keeping these in mind, guys, can stop you making errors early on in the design process. And that's a very important point to keep in mind, because the more errors you avoid early on, the better it is for you guys. And following on from that, guys, is design focus. So this is a very important point to keep in mind when designing and developing. So good design focus, so focusing in on the functionality, focusing in on the context, focusing in on what your users want. It leads to the best user experience, and a good app is all about the user experience, because if you provide a good user experience and your app isn't even that brilliant in its function, but users enjoy using it, well, then they'll keep on coming back to use it, and that's what you want to get users. So focusing on the functionality and context of your app and providing a good design and response is the key to a successful app. And then the final point out of our 5 tips on development and design is structure. So structure is hugely important, guys, and we'll talk a lot more about it in the advanced course. We will talk about it in lesson 4. But structure the design. So first of all, do prototype structure, how pages are going to interact with each other, how you go from one page in your app to another page in your app. Structure the information on those pages, structure the navigation through your app. Figure out, if a user starts on the home page, how many layers of your app, how many tiers of your app can they go down. Structure the functionality as well. How are the different functions in your app going to interact with each other? What are the functions of your app, and how can you break them down into smaller components that you can work on? So how does everything in your app? And then overall, you want to structure the whole design and development process, because structure makes it easier for you guys to develop. It provides a roadmap, it's a blueprint for your app, and it can be very difficult to develop an app without a blueprint. It's very similar to building a house or building anything. You do need a structure, you do need a blueprint. So we'll be talking more about these in lesson 4, the software development lifecycle, and we go into a lot more detail on the advanced course. But that has been our quick little bonus lesson, 5 tips on design and development. So remember, guys, structure, context, functionality, design focus, and requirements analysis. So if you keep these in mind, guys, it'll make your whole design and development process a lot easier. So until the next lesson, guys, I will see you then.